And breathing slowly and deeply in and out the nose. Begin to deepen those breaths into the belly. And exhaling slowly, lengthening out the breath out a couple seconds longer than your inhale, if possible and comfortable. On your next inhale, bring the legs together, reach the arms up overhead, and take a stretch. Pointing your toes, reaching the fingertips up, creating length in the front body. And then exhaling, keeping the arms lifted up overhead. Cross the right ankle over the left. And with your right wrist, grab your left wrist. And you're just going to wiggle the feet and the arms over the left side of your mat, creating a little C shape or a banana shape. Finding a side body stretch. See if you can relax into this, allowing the breath to be the subtle movement. On your next inhale, come back to center. Release your hands, uncross the ankle, and we'll switch the other side. So crossing the left ankle over right. And this time, grabbing your right wrist, begin to walk the heels and the arms over the right side, keeping your hips planted if you can, finding that little C shape, little banana shape towards the right. Breathing into that left side body. And then inhaling slowly back to center. Release the wrists, uncross the heels, lower the arms to your side. On an inhale, draw the right knee in towards your chest. Clasp the fingertips around the top of the knee and gently draw that right knee down towards you, wind removing pose. As you gently coax that right knee down, press out through a flat left foot. Slight tuck of the chin. Feeling the belly press up against that right thigh on your inhale and following the exhale out through the nose. Take one more round of breath on this side. And with your exhale, gently release, slowly lowering that right leg back to the mat and bringing the left knee in. Same thing, clasping the fingertips around the top of the knee, gently drawing that left knee down towards the mat, towards your left armpit. Relaxing the shoulder blades, tucking the chin, and then pressing out through your right heel. Follow the breath here. Take another round of breath. And let your exhale gently release you from wind removing pose. Bringing both knees together, feet flat on the mat. And then bring both knees in, finding your arms wrapped around the shins, hugging them in, maybe taking a gentle rocking left and right. And then tuning in to what might feel good for you next. Maybe a happy baby, maybe a gentle twist, maybe something else. Using that breath to guide your movements. Eventually, making your way to lowering the knees down to one side and gently pressing yourself up to tabletop hands and knees. Spread the fingertips wide, bring the knees directly under your hips. And moving again with your breath, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, finding cow pose. Letting exhale take you to cat, curling the spine, tucking the chin. Inhaling, filling up. Exhaling, giving a little breath back to the earth. Continue with a few rounds, cat and cow. Moving with the breath. And then coming back to your neutral spine. Begin to kind of tilt towards the left, looking over your left shoulder as you press the left hip out, almost as if you're trying to catch your tail. Your inhale brings you back to center. And then exhale to the other side. Look over your right shoulder, trying to see your right hip. Feel a gentle stretch in the outer left hip. Your inhale brings you back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Take a few more rounds. Moving with your own breath, your own rhythm. And then when you've evened out each side, coming back to neutral spine, plant the left hand in the center of the mat. On an inhale, sweep the right arm open, lifting through the fingertips, shining the heart up towards the ceiling. Inhale, lift a little higher, and then exhale, gently thread that right arm underneath you, lowering maybe just to the top of the hand. Maybe you lower all the way down to the shoulder, the side of the face. Maybe use a prop to help you up here. If you'd like, you can walk your left fingertips up overhead, keeping the hips over the knees. Breathe into the right shoulder, the outer left arm, any other areas of tension. Meanwhile, we're expanding the back of the heart space, feeling the breath in between the shoulder blades. Exhaling, emptying out the breath through the nose on the exhale. On your next breath in, bring that left hand down in front of your face, pressing down to lift yourself up. Bring that right arm all the way up to re-extend, and then exhale, lower it down in front of you in the center of the mat. Preparing for the other side. Inhale, sweep the left arm open, reaching the heart up towards the ceiling, reaching the fingertips up, letting your exhale gently lower that left arm underneath you, threading it through, maybe lowering to the shoulder, however high or low works for your body tonight. Again, maybe walking the right fingertips up overhead, and then settling into the breath, finding those little sticky spots, sending the breath there, letting the exhale release. Take another round of breath on this side. And plant the right hand next to your face. Press down into that right hand to lift yourself up. Re-extend that left arm before lowering it back down. And then next we're going to move to puppy pose. So you can support yourself, take a supported puppy pose here. And it's just walking your hands forward and lowering your chest down to the mat, or maybe to a couple pillows. Again, trying to keep your hips over the knees. Lowering maybe the forehead down to the mat. Taking a few rounds of breath to wiggle into your spot. When you found your place of puppy, release down through the shoulders. And continue to sense that openness in the upper back. Deepening your inhales each round. Slowing down the exhales. Find 1 or 2 more rounds of breath. We're going to gently, slowly lift ourselves up out of the posture, taking the tiniest movements you can at first until you feel supported under your hands. Roll through a round of cat and cow. And then we're going to lower all the way down to our bellies for 3 rounds of cobra pose. Again, if another pose is speaking to you, or this one is speaking to you and telling you that it's not happening today, or you don't feel like it, then feel free to just take whatever feels good. If you'd like to move forward with Cobra, bring your hands next to your chest, fingertips spread wide, tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. And on an inhale, just peel the heart a couple inches off the mat. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears and hug the elbows in. Slight tuck of the tailbone here if you feel your low back crunching. One more inhale. Exhale, lower the forehead down to the mat, relax. We'll take 2 more rounds of Cobra, each time maybe lifting up a little bit higher if you feel good doing so. So bring the feet together, tops of the feet pressed down. Inhale, lift the heart a little bit higher, remembering to keep light on the hands. So you should be able to lift your fingertips off the mat a little bit. Keep the neck neutral, so gazing straight down in front of you. One more breath in. Exhale, lower the forehead down. Take a breath, take a rest, relax everything. And when you're ready to press up into a little bit higher Cobra, same thing, tops of the feet press down, maybe your knees lift off the mat. And inhale, lift up. This time, maybe pressing into the hands to get a little bit lift off the mat. Keep the neck neutral, elbows hugging in, shoulders relaxed. Full breaths in and out. One more inhale here. Exhale, release. Bring the arms to your side, lower one side of the face to the mat. And breathe. And as you're ready, we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. Taking your time, maybe rolling through cat and cow, a child's pose. No rush. Finding your downward dog, slightly bending into the knees and lifting from the tailbone. Spread the fingertips wide, look back between your knees and press your chest towards your thighs. Feel the weight in the heels drawing downward. And scrub the hands and the feet in towards each other. Keeping a little bit of active momentum. Inhale, look between your hands and tiptoe towards the top of the mat, finding a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need. You can also take chair pose here. Any other variation if forward fold isn't working for you tonight. Try to find some weightlessness in the head. Let everything hang down here. And then on your inhale, look up halfway, bringing your hands to your shins or your thighs, wherever you need to get that straight back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, take another forward fold, lowering the torso over the legs. And on an inhale, we're going to slowly make our way to stand, curling the spine, one backbone stacking on top of the other. Shoulders, chin, and head are the last to rise up. Finding mountain pose at the top of your mat. Take a moment here to tune in. Bring the palms together and spread the fingertips wide for a lotus blossom mudra. And just sits kind of at the center of the heart. So you kind of start in prayer pose, keeping the pinky and the thumb together, spread out the other fingers. It'll look kind of like a flower blossom. You're welcome to close your eyes here or gaze downward at your lotus mudra. Relax the shoulders. Lengthen the tailbone down the back. So with our lotus blossom, we invite an open heart, a sense of fullness, and a sense of giving and gratitude meshing together by this feeling of fullness, of open-heartedness to our own blessings, and open-heartedness to sharing those blessings with others. If there's any other mantra or phrase, prayer, thought that you'd like to bring to the forefront of your consciousness, take a few breaths now to draw that in. Together, we'll take a final inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Release the mudra, release the arms to your side. And at the top of your mat, firm the feet down, lengthen the spine. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Take your time. Let the head hang heavy. Inhale, look up halfway. And exhale, fold back down. We're going to come up through chair on an inhale. So send the hips back, sweep the arms forward, press down into the feet, and then stand up, arms coming up. And we're going to take it right back down on the exhale. Fold forward, just roll like waves. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Same thing coming through chair. So sweep the arms back, drop the hips down, lift the heart, lift the arms, stay here. And then on your next inhale, begin to stand, reaching up until you reach the top of your breath, and then let your exhale cast back down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step both feet back. Just a couple breaths in plank. Gotta throw one in there. You can totally skip and lower your knees if you'd like. One more inhale. And then exhale, lower the knees. Keeping everything where it's at, lower your chest between your hands so your tailbone stays lifted. Bring your chin to the mat like a little inchworm. And then inhale, pull forward and lift the chest. Cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Maybe you roll through a child's pose or some other variation to get there. Move with your body and begin to tune into that gratitude for each movement. We don't have to tell each individual muscle and tendon and blood vessel to move or flow or send electrical currents to move our body. It just happens naturally, at least for those of us on this call tonight. Being able to move like that is certainly a blessing. Look between your hands and walk forward to forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale to chair and then come right up to stand. Reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms, 90-degree angle with the elbows or lower. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale to mountain. Let it all out. On your inhale, once again, sweep the arms up. And we're going to take it down on the exhale, folding down, planting the hands. And step the left foot back and lower to the left knee for Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. Untuck the back toes, sweep the arms up. And here we're going to pull that right hip back and the left hip forward. So you're squaring your hips and your shoulders towards the top of the mat. Feeling strong and grounded. Bringing to mind here everything you have that holds you up in your life. And on an exhale, we're going to walk that right foot forward a little bit and slowly make our way into a little bit more of a lunge. So kind of drop the hips down, reach the arms up and back. Here, releasing into gratitude, releasing what we don't need, maybe to others who can use it. And then inhaling, lifting back up, finding that low crescent lunge with everything squared up and strong. Exhale, lower your hands to either side of your right foot, half splits. Send the hips back, your right toes come up. Another variation you can do is bring both hands to the inside of that right foot and maybe heel toe that right heel out a little bit if that's a little bit more comfortable. You can also use your blocks to kind of keep lifted. So we're focusing on opening this heart space tonight. So make sure whatever variation you take, your heart is still lifted, you're not curled over. Take a couple more rounds of breath here. Again, squaring the hips, right hip pulls back, left hip pulls forward. On your exhale, bend back into that right knee. Move the props away. Plant your hands on either side of the foot, tuck the back toes, standing splits, but slowly. Shift the weight forward to that right foot. Begin to lift the left toes off the mat. Drop the head and the neck and keep the hips level. Breathing here, finding that balance of acknowledging our blessings, sharing with others, and still being open to receiving more and better things for ourselves. On an exhale, gently step that left foot back. Bring your hands to the inside of the right foot for lizard pose. You can lower your knee here. You can lift yourself up on blocks. You can stuff a bunch of pillows underneath you, underneath your arms to make this more restorative. Find the little lizard that wants to come out tonight and honor that. In whichever shape you're in, use the breath to come back to that cat and cow shape. So on an inhale, pulling the heart through the shoulders, maybe your right knee opens a little bit, looking up. And exhaling, curling the spine, drawing the right knee in towards the arm, tucking the chin. Inhaling, dropping the hips down, lifting the heart up. Exhaling, curling the spine, tucking in. Just take a couple rounds of those if that feels good for you. Good. Take one more round and make your way back to your neutral lizard. And then lift up off that back knee and walk your hands over the side of the mat, finding a wide-legged forward fold. You might need to heel toe your feet together. And your toes are now facing the wide edge of the mat, coming up halfway, tenting up on your fingertips. Shift the weight forward to the balls of the feet, and then lift through the tailbone as you lower your heart. So if you're like me, you have a tendency to shift the weight back into the heel to get deeper into the posture. Don't sacrifice strength for flexibility. Keep bringing the weight forward onto the balls of the feet and thinking, lift. Hug the feet in towards each other as if you're trying to create a ripple in the mat. Again, finding that balance of filling yourself up, gathering up from the earth, not just jumping everything out. On an inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands back to the top of the mat. Find a forward fold. Take an inhale, look up halfway, and exhale, fold back down. This time we're going to step our right foot to the back of the mat. Lower the right knee, untuck the toes. Lift the arms up, finding that low crescent lunge. Pull the left hip back, right hip forward. Getting strong and tall. Good, just another breath here. And then we're going to take that lunge variation by walking the left toes forward and lowering the hips down. You'll feel a little stretch in that front leg. Still pull that left hip back. Reach the arms up. Maybe finding a little back bend here. One more inhale. And let your exhale lower the hands down. Finding your half splits. Shifting the hips back. Walking the fingertips back, left toes kind of come up. And again, you can take that variation by bringing your hands to the inside of the leg, walking that left heel towards the left, using your blocks, which is what I'm going to do, to help keep that heart lifted. Again, finding the balance between dropping down into gravity and lifting from the heart. 2 or 3 more rounds of breath here. On your next exhale, shift the weight forward to lower that left foot to the mat. Moving any props out of the way. Plant your hands on either side of that left foot. Tuck the back toes, lifting up, and then shifting the weight forward, finding your standing splits. So balancing on that left leg, look back at your left knee. Slowly lifting from the inner thigh. So you want your hips to be level here. We're not opening the hip, keeping those hip points square down to the mat. Keeping the head and the neck relaxed. Full breath in, Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. On your inhale, tent the fingertips, look up halfway. On your exhale, shift the weight back until you can drop those right toes gently, finding lizard pose. Maybe you lower that left knee. Bring both hands to the inside of the left leg. Right hip pulls forward, left hip pulls back. And then find your cat and cow breath. Inhaling, lifting the heart and the gaze, dropping that left knee out a little bit. And exhaling, finding your little kitty cat back, arching through, tucking the chin, drawing that left knee in towards your left elbow. Inhaling, lowering the hips, lifting and opening the throat and the heart. Exhaling, curling in. Take a few more rounds. Letting your breath bring you back to this moment. If your mind begins to wander, then finding your lizard pose, tuck the back toes, lifting the back knee. Walk the hands over the right side of the mat until you find your wide-legged forward fold. Maybe taking a different arm variation this time. I'm going to still shift the weight forward onto the balls of my feet, lift up through the tailbone. I'm going to bring my hands to my hips and hug the elbows in towards each other. If you like this, you can stay here. Maybe you clasp your fingertips together behind you and reach the arms straight behind, and then lift as you lower your chest, lower your gaze back between the knees. Keep a little buoyancy in those knees, hugging the legs in towards each other. Couple more breaths here. On an inhale, look up halfway. Maybe bringing your hands back to your waist and then lowering them down to the floor. Walk the hands towards the left until you come back to the top of the mat. Step forward to forward fold. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, send the arms back behind you. So you're kind of like in a half chair, but the arms back. And we're going to inhale to chair. So just sweep the arms down and then up in front of you. Sink the hips back. Sink a little lower. We're going to make our way to boat pose. So lowering all the way down to your hips, lifting the legs up. Arms open here. Now you can draw those knees in towards your chest to lengthen through the back. We don't want to be curling the back here. Shrug the shoulders back. Lift up out of the pelvis. Just one more inhale. And then exhale, lower down, keeping the knees bent. We'll take a couple rounds of bridge pose. Walking the heels in towards your hips. And you can take supported bridge pose here if you'd like, by taking a block or a pillow underneath your sacrum when we lift. Otherwise, if you'd like a little bit more active version, that's the one I'll be cueing. So forearms down, gaze straight ahead. Moving from your belly button on an inhale, lift your hips off the mat. Maybe you wiggle your shoulder blades together, clasp your fingertips together, lift the heart a little bit further off the mat. Energetically squeeze the thighs together. Tuck the chin. Relax your glutes. Find your breath. Take one more inhale. If you clasp your fingertips, release that. And like a zipper, starting from the base of the neck, slowly lower your bridge until your tailbone meets the earth. Take a breath and a rest here. We'll move through one more round of bridge pose. Or maybe you want to do 20 more. That's up to you as well. But I'll be cueing the final one. And this time we'll be doing a supported bridge. So this is best with a really firm block or a pillow. If you have it, we can make that work as well. So same setup, walk your feet back towards your hips, about hips width distance, and lifting from your core, from your belly button, lift the hips up. And bring that block or pillow underneath your sacrum at a low setting. You want your low back to be neutral. So you don't want the block placement to tilt the tailbone up or down too much. So you might need to wiggle it around a little bit. You want to be comfortable, but supported. So once you found your spot and bridge, whether you're lowering on the block or keeping yourself lifted, we'll spend a couple extra breaths in this one. Allow the heart to melt open. Tuning into the breath. Maybe noticing the belly and the chest rise on your inhales and gently fall on the exhales. Relax your jaw, soften your face. Take one final round of breath. If you took the supported variation, firm your feet, bring the palms of the hands to the mat, and inhale, lifting up off your support. Just lower the hips down after you move it. We'll take a few windshield wipers, lowering the knees to the left and the right together. Slowly and gently. And then just allow them to fall down to one side and gently press yourself up to sit. Finding a comfortable seat, the center of the mat. We'll come back to our lotus mudra. So bringing the palms together, pinkies and thumbs touching the other fingers, open wide, and just seated at the center of the chest. You're welcome to close your eyes or gaze downward. And again, inviting through our lotus mudra, the offering of our practice, the offering of our movement, the offering of our gratitude for our abundance. We also call into mind Lakshmi. It's the goddess of light and abundance. And in Sanskrit, Lakshmi means richness and good fortune. And she symbolized not only material wealth, but also the wealth of treasures of mind, body, heart. It's from this abundance where we can find gratitude, a reminder that there is enough for all. We'll spend a few moments of meditation here before moving to restorative poses, closing us out. So maybe as you sit here, breathing in, identifying the richness in your life. Can you be grateful for what you do have? Take a final breath in. On your exhale, release the mudra, release the hands to your knees, and gently blink open the eyes and look up. From here, we're going to extend the right leg long and cross the left leg over, kind of like a figure four. And here you're invited to prop yourself up in these next postures, however feels fit. Hopefully you've got an arsenal of supplies next to you. I'm going to prop up my knee here with a pillow. And you do want your foot over the edge of your leg. So we make our way to lateral half shoelace. I also recommend putting another couple pillows off to the right and or actually to the left. So to the side of your knee. So we're going to go lateral that way. So you're just going to slowly lean over to the left. Maybe I should go this way so you can see a little better. So just lean over to your left. And just kind of relax here for a few rounds of breath. Kind of settle in. You can bring your hand to your foot. Find a little openness in the heart. So maybe you roll the shoulders up towards the ears and then down the back. And press into that left hand to open the heart towards the sky. If you're getting a little fatigued, again, you can stack some pillows up and kind of just lean on them there. If you want to take this a little bit more, you can reach the arm up overhead, maybe bend at the elbow, but keep that shoulder back. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. After your final exhale, gently begin to sit up. And we're just going to switch sides. So take your time. Move ever so slowly and gently, extending the left leg long and bringing the right foot to cross over your thigh. Again, propping anything up that you'd like. Bringing your stack of stuff to the right side if you want to lean on that there. And then maybe reaching that left arm up. Maybe you have it on your foot. Either way, pull that left shoulder back. Find some heart opening here. Just breathe. Try to keep the left hip down on the mat, the left sitting bone. Get a little bit more sensation that way. 3 more rounds of breath. After your final exhale, slowly release by coming back up, extending your leg long. Let's take a forward fold. I like to sit up on a block or a pillow or rolling up the back of the mat here. This can help if you have tight hamstrings. And just lengthen the legs towards the top of the mat. You can also take a rolled up blanket or another prop underneath your knees. Especially if they come up off the mat, this can feel really helpful. And then maybe a few pillows in front of your chest to lower down onto. So once you got all cozy there, reach the arms up. Lengthen through the side bodies and then release the shoulders down the back. Lift up out of the pelvis and bring your belly forward, hinging at the hips, reaching the heart towards your feet. Lower the arms. Now allow the upper back to slowly begin to curl. And drop the head down towards your legs or your pillow. Feel really comforted here. Tucked into yourself. Soften down as you release all your desires. Let go of the wants and the I have to haves. Creating space for gratitude for what we do have. So let it all roll down the curved spine, drip off the tailbone. Take 3 more rounds of breath here. Unhurried. Maybe an open mouth exhale on your last breath out. And then we're going to curl the spine to sit up. So starting with the base of the tailbone, roll the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. The shoulders and the neck and then the chin. Take a moment before moving into the next posture to just sit straight here in staff pose, allowing the spine to realign. And then gently move the props, making our way to supported fish pose. This is a big heart opener. And essentially lay on our back with the heart open by being propped up with blocks, pillows, whatever you got. And you can either allow your head to hang off the back of the pillows for more open throat kind of sensation. If you have any neck problems or just aren't feeling the openness today, you can give yourself a little pillow or a prop to allow your head to rest on something stable. So we're gonna lengthen the legs down. You can keep your knees propped up if you'd like. Just begin to recline back onto your stack of pillows, adjusting as you go. We're gonna get really cozy here. So you'll find the chest lifted. Lower the head back, or prop your head up with a pillow or a block. And then allow the arms to rest at your side. Palms up if you can. For some people, that's really uncomfortable. So if you can, palms up. If you can't, that's okay. You might even want to bring your lotus mudra back here. So wiggle into your space. Get really comfy. Take your time propping yourself up. We'll be here for a good minute or two. And then when you find your spot, release to the exhale. Allow yourself to melt into the posture. Shoulders releasing down the sides of your stack of pillows. The legs become heavy. The jaw softens. The forehead uncreases. You feel the cage around your heart softly open. Softly create more space. More room for love for yourself, love for others. Keep your breath deep and slow. Notice if there's any other area you're hanging on to tension, resisting release. Maybe your legs or your fists. Take about 3 or 4 more rounds of breath in supported fish pose. Coming back to mantra or imagery, prayer, or whatever image of Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance and wealth, bringing that to mind. And take a final breath in. Release through open mouth. We're going to very slowly and mindfully make our way to sit up, removing a few stacks of postures or of props. And take one final heart opening posture before our rest. So just make your way to your belly. Slowly, calmly. And here we'll find a Sphinx pose. Bringing the forearms down to the mat, elbows under your shoulders, heart pulling through. And you can take a supported variation here by maybe bringing a rolled up blanket underneath your hip points. It can help release the back here. You can bring a stack of pillows in front of you and rest your forehead down on them. Just keeping that heart space open. You can also Walk your feet apart a little bit. I want to be somewhat comfortable here. There will be a little bit of sensation as your heart opens. And find your spot. Come into relative stillness. We'll take 5 rounds of breath in Sphinx pose. And recognizing that this simple posture is enough. The simple things of our lives are enough. Take one final round of breath if you're not there already. We're going to begin to gently press into the hands, lift the hips, coming through tabletop, shifting the hips back, a couple breaths in child's pose, lowering the forehead down, lengthening through the spine. Full breath in, long exhale out. And now, my friends, we've made our way to Shavasana, our final posture. So go ahead and get as cozy as you can, propping up your knees, your feet, your back. And completely release down. When you arrive, let out a full exhale. Feel all your wants and desires releasing with that breath. Feel the abundance of the earth pressing up against your back body. Nourishment and support. Feel the openness of the front body, the temperature of the air on your skin. And when paired with the support behind us, we find the openness, the gratitude to share that love, share that abundance with everyone else. Begin to close the eyes, release a little deeper. I'll share a few final thoughts as you drift off. Gratitude practice reminds us we are being loved and cared for, and we have enough to live a beautiful life. We can start by remembering the simple things, the gift of breath, the preciousness of life, of family, of pets, of yoga practice, by getting rooted in what we already have. So as we release in the simpleness of this posture, find a few things of your body, your gratitude, you're gracious for. Just allow yourself to melt into the earth and open through the front body. That balance of being full and emptying ourselves of our excess, taking love and giving love. I'll let you know when it's time to reawaken. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your body on the mat, your presence, in your space. Begin to reawaken the body with some small movements to the fingers, toes, rolling the wrists and the ankles. Eventually, curling into yourself on one side, taking a moment to yourself before pressing up to a comfortable seat, the center of the mat, keeping the eyes gazing down, softly closed. Bring the palms together at heart center. And breathing in one final time with our lotus mudra, blossoming the fingers apart, resting the thumb, the heart center. As you inhale, breathe in the words, I am enough. I have enough. I am grateful. I am giving. I am enough. Your next exhale, close the blossom of your fingers together until you find Anjali Mudra prayer. One more final inhale together. A big open mouth exhale as you release your hands. Blink open your eyes and welcome yourself back to your evening.